And yeah. One drawback of this is, of course, you need to have a pretty smart tagging system of the content to ensure that you have this rich metadata. And also one drawback is you will not have like the learning or transfer learning of the from different users. Maybe Julia here is not that a frequent visitor, so we don't know actually what she likes. So we cannot predict by comparing to different users. So then we comes to the second choice.
So the second choice is collaborative filtering or transfer learning. And we use the same tags with likes and dislikes and bookmarks, favorites, and playtime. But in this case, we are using the input from both Niklas here and Julia to see they like similar games, they have common interests. And since we know that Julia started to like the blue game as well, we can make the prediction that Niklas will most probably like that game as well, and we can recommend that game to him. Simple, right?
So how do we implement this in our architecture, or we'll try to do that? As we use the Google Cloud platform, we have the Google Cloud Machine Learning Engine that is based on TensorFlow. TensorFlow is an open source machine learning framework. So it's actually Google that has a own brand, but what they are doing is giving us already managed environment with the TensorFlow. So we can just click on a button and we have the infrastructure for starting to build our business logic for this. And we will try to use TensorRec. And that is a pre-built algorithm and framework in Python that is based on the TensorFlow framework. And it's a guy that is part of the Spotify AI team that has built this, trying to make it easier to build recommendation services. And what he has done is using both content-based and collaborative filtering. So we can match these two together and get the best of two worlds. And to use this framework in TensorFlow, he has defined 3 data sets. Yeah.
And the first one is to define a set of user features. So in this case, 1 means that the user has this feature, and -1 means that the user has not, and 0 means that we have no idea about this feature. So basically, is this a VIP customer, or is this a customer who likes to play poker games and so on? So we tag the user features.
Yes, and this is extracted from the big data clickstream data store to process this, and yeah, to get number 1 in poker. Instead, it should be a frequent poker player and maybe liking the games, or yeah, some kind of categoristic for marking each user feature. Yeah, and in the same way, we have the game feature data set that we will add to the model. And the third data set is interactions between the games and the user. So in this case, we know that user A is in some way has liked or bookmarked or have a large amount of play time for that game, and some other extracted data from the clickstream and other kinds of data stores. Yeah, so back to the microservice architecture and the machine learning batch. To get the data sets that we showed you, we will extract the data from the clickstream, the game catalog, and the game recommendation service to clean it and calculate the evaluation of each data set. Then we will use TensorRec to train the model and upload it to be used. And the outcome of this will be a match between user, game, and prediction. So when we present the page to the visitor, we just call the game recommendation service and give me, sorted by prediction, X number of games that we should recommend to this user. Back to some more code. So this is more like the Python TensorRec, TensorFlow model. So it has quite simple interface. Of course, this is simple, but you should really be careful to do this. And it's a lot of tuning and tweaking, finding the right loss function and how you really tune in this to get the best recommendations. So it's but it's not like just adding this and then run and you will get what you want. I think you should take this really serious and test and train the model and see where it ends up at the end. But in the cloud, we don't need to buy fancy, expensive servers for this. We just start the environment, maybe have a weekly batch for pre-processing the data, training the model, uploading it, and then run the batch of predicting games for each user on visit or daily, weekly. That's something to tune in and see where we ends up.
Yeah, and as Gabriel said, it's to work with this it's not a one-time show. You need to really work with the model and to keep evolving it over time. So we compare it to the same process as you do in Lean Startup, where everything builds on that you build, measure, learn, and go through that cycle again. Because we want to have relevant input to our machine learning model as well. So, for example, are we sure that we are actually generating more revenue for the brand or not? Because that's the purpose of recommending the games. So that's a really important step in this, to have an iterative process how to evolve the model over time. And it's both machine learning and of course manual learning.
Yeah, and find the right measurements. What is a good recommendation in all this? Is it click rates for the recommendation and so on? Yeah, so we have the services, we have start concept of the machine learning that we will try to tune in, of course, and find the right way of doing this with the right data. And to do this in a flexible way, we need to have an infrastructure where we can build and deploy with a continuous delivery, and in the Google Cloud platform. we have the possibility to use the container builder that is triggering builds of containers by listening to tags in our Git repository, source code repository. So that will start the build process, and then the containers will be published to the registry, and Spinnaker application framework for doing continuous development deployment will handle starting the test environment to start with, firing up the new version, and then makes it possible to switch versions without any downtime. And when we are ready, we can go further in the process and just click the button to make it to production and do testing in parallel. And at last, when we decide to maybe test with a few customers to start with, and then let every customer find the new features.
So you plan to test on production?
Test on production, yeah. Or of course it will be well tested before, but in some way you will have a small group of internal testers.
How you plan to test it well before? Maybe you cover that, maybe not.
No, we are not covering it here, but yeah.
Any ideas?
How to test code or the process?
So like how to test something which you say like that's good, and we go to production in automated way. You and Niklas are testing here.
Yeah,
exactly.
Another question in the same line of this, actually. Who's your customer? Who's the client?
We have the owners from this startup. We're backed by a large group of brands, and they have different. I can't tell you exactly.
No, I don't mean specifically. I mean, are they game publisher, or is it the consumer, or the gamers? Who's your customer? Who's paying you?
Brands that you see on TV.
Sorry?
Brands that you see on TV.
So you're looking for brands. You know that most brands' games are made by other publisher in the back, right? So you need to have the publisher on board, and most publishers do have certain service like this. So I'm just wondering what's the big business model around this, which once we know who your customer and the business model, then we can know who's going to be testing it and who's going to be willing to be the early adopter to say, yeah, let's go and try this. I didn't know if it was the consumer that you were trying to get involved, where they could have different brands, or is it more like if you go to one specific brand, then they will use your technology to build their own portal, which most, in terms of my company, we have these tools and these portals with brands all over the world, but it's the first time I see a third party offering it, so that's why I was wondering who's your customer.
That's a top secret.
Okay.
Yeah, but we are building. As you say, brands platform and like game provider platform. So it's like two different kind of end customers in that way. But it's all businesses,
and
of course.
Have you thought about the business model? Is it going to be per transaction? Is it going to be revenue share? Is it going to be revenue share of the increased revenue that your system will bring? Or all of the above, or it's undetermined yet?
Actually,
I'm looking at Niklas.
I'm looking at Niklas.
That's not the subject.
No, exactly. I think we can skip that.
Okay.
But you know, in general, the operators do a lot of like these kind of things are for CRM purposes, for example, and that is done a lot on the operator side usually. I know that the game providers also have it, but usually the operators run a lot of activities of their own, you know, giving offers, sending out communications, etc.
So the operator is the end user looking for this type of thing?
Well, yeah, yes, in this case, yes.
Super.
Then let's go to the technical topic. How
So
to assure
operator
quality?
Yeah.
How to assure quality of a product pre-release in automated way, or as you see it? Maybe you just ship all the shit to production.
Yeah, and that's of course not what we are trying to do. As usual, it's a mix of the process and having manual testing and unit testing from. It's no magic at all. I think it's having the right thinking and development process from start.
And also have the best tester on board as well. Make sure, because you can't cover everything with automated tested. So I think you should be humble to that task. It's like to keep the test really small at the beginning and structure your code in a way that you can break down and test every single purpose one by one, isolated, and then expand your automated tested, and finally you have the best QA people on board to put the actual business touch of it to ensure the quality. So it's no magic. It's hard work and good people.
Nothing is magic in this
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
How do you plan to do integration tests in cloud? To generate data maybe from somewhere?
Yeah. You mean what's unique with the cloud? We will have like different.
That's not integration. It's integration with multi-services. End to end. So you plan to raise for everything end to end, whole complete sets, and click it through.
Yeah, at the end, of course, but it will be separated too. So yeah, and of course it's an early stage, but we know, of course, it's a challenge with microservice architecture. You have a lot of flexibility, but that is also adding complexity if you're not careful enough.
And the next question, which comes up partially out of the first one, eventual consistency, which is a big pain for microservice world. And you have distributed databases and stuff. How you plan to deal with that?
I don't understand that.
I mean, eventual consistency.
Yeah.
And you have lots of services which store everyone stores their part of the data,
Mm.
and then somehow something influences on other services to be updated, and that kind of things which trigger this event-based stuff. So you just have lots of events, and sometimes you cannot understand whenever it was the first update or the second update, because someone processed it faster and someone didn't, kind of things.
Yeah, I think talking about like mission critical or business critical data, it's very hard, as you say. You will really need one kind of data store where you have this is the truth. And what we are talking about now, this is that's we are looking at this you or join
And be a part of it.
Like, talking about what you're trying to do, I still have a question. So you don't do games, right? You do platform for the games. Or you do
games also. Games platform and site.
Okay, so it's games and games platform.
And operate.
What kind of games you do? Could you describe briefly, or you integrate with the game providers, or you do live casino games, RNG?
All of them.
Yeah, RNG. And actually we have 8 games live today from previous that it was built on a partner platform. And now we are building our own, and it will be, and that's live streaming games and RNG games.
I have an additional question. You have mentioned that you have chosen Java, but everybody knows that in a kind of a gaming world, Java doesn't have concurrency, and the problem is the shared mutable state. Have you considered Erlang?
Are you sure?
I can answer you this question in my presentation. How do you get so many Erlang guys to Estonia?
I'm just curious. Yeah. Have you considered other technologies for language?
If I consider other.
Yeah. Have you considered?
Right now this is the main plan. So of course we are open-minded, and if we find anything better, but it's always a decision, and yeah, we'll have pros and cons for every choice we do. We just need to handle it. But right now, this is the main path. But let's see.
Will you store user data somewhere?
Yeah.
Where?
In the cloud.
How you guarantee the safetyness of that data? And do you plan to make it possible to remove it if some user requires it?
You mean the new regulations and yeah?
GDPR.
Yeah.
Which is happening in 1 month.
Yeah.
We have nothing in production yet.
Oh wait, well.
Yeah, of course, we need to take that into consideration.
Yeah, and it's a lot of challenges, like having Kafka and maybe storing streams and so. So yeah, it's of course a challenge, but we need to handle it like everybody. So.
And there are different approaches how to do that, and we have that on top of our agenda because if we don't fulfill the GDPR requirements, we cannot go live. So.
I have a question about labeling of your trading data. So, outcome of your machine learning algorithm is prediction, just for each game, right? Should you recommend this game or not? When you're working with your trading data set, you need to label your data set, right? And if I'm not mistaken, you're labeling it just in the way like a customer clicked on this game or not, right?
Yes, as one
option.
Just main one. And do you consider that customer or just customer probably haven't seen many games which you have, and then just you say that this customer didn't click? Do you consider this as some noise in the target?
Yeah, I think that's something that we need to handle, but I'm not the business expert, but we have a lot of them on board. And that's, I think, we need to have that answer. How do the business define what kind of labeling for this? And so it really should be like technology and business working together to find the right way of doing this. So right now, this was something that we, as developers, thought maybe it was good, but we need to really sit down with the experts on how this will end up. Sorry? Barman? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
My question about machine learning and about model. As I understand, you use neural network ideas for not the gradient boosting or random forest. Yes?
No, I think that's part of. We are using the framework, so I think it's.
There is some approach.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
How long time need to train model?
We have.
Real data.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see.
Let's see.
Yeah. This is like an approach, and we know that somebody else have done this before and using this. So right now we don't have the data to train, and of course we will do the concept or proof of concept of this. So right now it's really start to do this and find the right. It's quite flexible framework, this, so you can change it and do your own implementation of things. But it's too early for us to answer that question. Sorry.
How did you decide to go to Google Cloud?
Because we have used it before. Right now, that's the simple answer to that. Legacy. Yeah, but not. Yeah.
I know a lot of companies who start with like proper business, earn money, and only then they come to machine learning and try to do a better service. Like it looks like, at least from this presentation, and maybe I got it wrong. So you start with machine learning, and it looks like money is no pressure, right? Just like we do like proper machine learning stuff because machine learning is a heavy investment. So is it the case that you just try to something new and see how it goes, or like where money lays?
Money? No. Looking at Niklas? No.
No, but of course, I mean, the money lays in the operations. So if you do anything that improves any kind of function, that's where you get the return. It's as simple as that. I mean, it's an ongoing, any ongoing business has a lot of different avenues to improve. So it's not like paying for a project on its own. It's these sort of incremental improvements you do in every day. So.
I got it when you said that you were making your own games as well. You're going to be the first customer.
Yeah. And it's not like, okay, let's start a new company to do machine learning. It's, yeah, that's more a sub-project or one function in this whole. It's more about delivering business and doing it in the best way. And machine learning is, we will try to use it the right way. We think it's promising, not for everything, but finding the right services for this and start small and then grow.
But it's also very key to, because the industry in general has been using, the industry has been quite heavy on using manual resources for everything from CRM, campaign coordination, customer support, things like that. So there are lots of areas for machine learning to have a critical sort of business impact. You know, you can remove, now it sounds very crass in a way, but you can remove a lot of headcounts if you get this right, which is not the main aim, but the main aim is also to be sort of relevant and timely towards the customers. So you give the customer a better experience in the end. And that's the main point, because there's just too much data for people to consider manually anymore. And I think that's mainly where we're coming from, wanting to do something that's automated and works really efficiently. And using the latest tools that are out there, like the graphs I showed you in the beginning, the growth is driven by technology. And then if you don't try new technology, you surely won't grow.
Okay, guys, I think we're ready to the...
Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go. Just let your body go. Just let your body go and move to the rhythm. Now we won't go back home today, until the very last hour. We still got few more days to slay, it's gonna get so much louder. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all, lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go, just let your body go, just let your body go and move to the rhythm. I wonder what went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say, eh? To say the words you remember. What can I do to make you stay a little longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Stay a little longer. You're making me stronger, making me stronger. They said to wait for the right time, and I think tonight might just be right. I know you want to do it too, so bring your courage, there's no rules. Don't be scared, just trust me. Take my hand any minute now. Get ready to smile. And I just wanna see the colors and rainbows, 'cause we just wanna be in this dream forever. Just in this dream forever. Just forever. Just in this dream forever. Now that you're knee deep in this vice, just enjoy, take my advice. You say that you love it and you're okay, but I know better and you're afraid. Have no shame, just let go, follow me to another land. Try to understand, and I will always be the one that's right here standing by your side. Open up your heart and let me in. I promise not to break you. I promise I'll be all that you want. So let me in my heart before. Let me in. Oh, your love explodes. Our heart implodes. Your love explodes. Our hearts implode. heart so intense. I feel it again, I feel it again, I feel it again. We're bringing this back to life.
In the one place. Okay?
I hate to interrupt, you were having a good time, but feel free to have some beers while I'm talking. Yes, machine learning is just like GDPR. Everybody, it's like teenage sex, you know. Everybody's talking about it, but nobody has had it. So, yeah, I could easily, throw a few questions, a few comments about that subject as well. But yes, I'm here to talk about IT recruitment. And I bet some of this stuff that I'm going to show you, you will actually see for the first time in your life. And you will feel the same I feel when I watch somebody talking about machine learning. Right, so once again, I'm an IT recruiter. I'm the founder of IT Talent. And my everyday job is to consult people who want to change something in their careers, who want to change a job, who are looking for new challenges. So I'm the one who is encouraging sometimes to do the first step. And I'm also consulting companies which are growing fast. I'm usually invited when it's like the company is growing and they can't cope with the growth themselves, or we're usually invited when a company is hiring for a specific, a very unique knowledge, skill, and it's hard to find it in Estonia. So we are actually bringing talent from outside of Estonia. For example, last year, if you remember, we were talking about Elixir. Who wanted to talk about Erlang? I built a team of Elixir developers. I've hired Mac OS engineers for building anti-malware products. So something which could not be found in Estonia could be found somewhere else and imported. So I'm importing talent as well. But enough about me. You probably hate recruiters, don't you? Do they annoy you? Do they write you letters, messages? Do they call you actually? Do you ever get calls from recruiters?
Sometimes.
You do. But Kirill, I'm sure you do. You are the most popular guy in Estonia to offer a job. But, well, yes, I can be pushy sometimes as well, I must admit. But I totally agree. The average quality of recruitment in Estonia is quite low at the moment. And it's just because it's quite a new profession, actually. Everybody thinks that they can do it, you know, just write letters, smile, be nice. Have red shoes. But it takes a little bit more. It takes a bit more of experience and understanding of IT life cycle, I don't know, development cycle. So we are getting there, actually. There are more and more good recruiters, good HRs for IT companies in Estonia. And just to demonstrate you how hard we're trying to be good at this, here's a picture of a conference in Amsterdam. I know, yes, what are you thinking, especially if you speak Russian?
Too many ladies, that's
So this is the Estonian delegation in SOSU Europe in Amsterdam, and it's not what you're thinking. We were actually learning sourcing. And that's what we actually have to learn all the time and refresh our skills. So raise your hand if your company is hiring. Raise your hand if your company is struggling to find good, like quality candidates and fill the vacancies. Okay. Raise the hand if you are the one who's taking part in the hiring process. Great. Any HRs, any recruiters around? Okay. So the rest of you, I guess, are here to learn how to earn an extra bonus for vacation in summer, right? You all offered reference bonuses in your companies, aren't you? Well, my job today is to teach you and to convince you that you could actually help your HRs to hire your colleagues. You could be the ones who can control the situation and change it for better. Right. So what is the situation with hiring at the moment at your companies? What kind of problems are you experiencing? Any guesses? Do you have enough applicants? Are they good, the applicants you get?
We have lots of applicants, but they're not so good.
Well, I guess everybody in Estonia is having the same problem. Not many applicants for positions, or there could be many applicants, but they don't actually match the expectations. The quality of candidates is quite low. And of course, all the technical guys usually say, I'm wasting so much time on interviewing. Do you feel the same, guys who are interviewing? Are your HRs, recruiters wasting your time with unsuitable candidates? From gaming, guys, you are allowed to raise your hand. Yes, I'm actually hiring for these guys. Well, and everybody says they have no time to search for candidates, right? So you are all complaining that you spend too much time on interviewing, but you say you have no time for searching, right? So this is how an average Estonian IT HR looks like. We are all posting and praying that we get the candidates. But getting the candidates is actually half a problem. Many applicants doesn't mean that we get what we are looking for. Many applicants actually gives us a lot of problems again, because we have to be nice to everybody, we have to process them, we have to give them feedback, right? So the question is, do they match? So my question to you is, if you're wasting so much time, why don't you take control of the situation yourself? What stops you to going and getting the candidates yourself? You're all sitting and waiting for the HR to pray and bring something to you for the interview, aren't you? This is how it usually works in Estonia. What if I told you that you can take the control of the situation, you can take the control of the variables, of the people who come to your interviews? Would you like that?
Should I get the salary of HR?
Yeah, just thinking about that. Not then fine.
But imagine you spend a couple of hours searching and you save yourself 5 hours of interviews.
I know the answer, because a lot of IT guys are social or introverts.
Bullshit. Totally bullshit. Because they all like talking, they like chatting, they like socializing. If you look at my phone, it's like a Christmas tree. I get IT guys gossiping, you know, all the time through all possible channels, Skype, I don't know, Telegram, Messenger. They love talking.
To you.
Okay, I see your point. But the thing is, I've been promoting this idea that HRs and the technical team, you guys are all in the same boat. And the sooner you understand that it's your teamwork, the better. You can actually work together instead of just being the opposite side, you know, pointing fingers at each other. Oh, she's not bringing candidates, or they're being so picky. Imagine you could actually work together as a team. And the problem I experience most of the time, I come to my client, I talk to the HR, and I say, what's the technical stack of your project? And she goes, what? And then I look at the job descriptions at the job ads, and believe me, half of the job ads in Estonia could just go down to the bin. Why? This is a very logical question. Why? Why cannot a technical team sit down with the recruiter or with the hiring manager and just talk about the project? 80% of success is actually giving the right inquiry. Okay, who are we looking for? Who are these people we are looking for? And I see that there's something really wrong at the early stage, usually, in each company. They don't sit down, they don't talk to each other. So, meet your HRs, sit down with them, talk about your project. Tell them what your project is all about. Who are the people who could actually come and work for you? Not the ideal people you want, right? But just try to imagine who are the people who would be attracted by your job offer. Give them the technical stack. Give them the juicy bits of your project. Is it, I don't know, Kubernetes or machine learning or maybe Amazon Web? In learning or polishing the skills. So do the preparation works. And please educate your HRs. It's totally in your interest. Invest some time into spending time with your HRs. At least show them this picture. You will benefit from this. I promise. It will save you a lot of time. So,
How this saves us time.
no, but seriously, some HRs don't know what is the back end and the front end. And I've even seen Q&A job offers, okay? Or UX engineers. There has to be a really good explanation anyway. So, guys, if you want to make it work, just invest a little bit time into educating the HR and talking about your project. your stack, your expectations. And of course, it's a job of an HR to also bring you back to earth. The question about Erlang, we're coming back to that. Why don't we choose Erlang for our project? Maybe your HR will tell you how to find Erlang people in Estonia, and then you change your mind. But sometimes, yes, the technical team is putting down everything what comes to their head. Like, we want a Java guy. He needs to have Python, he needs to have Amazon Web Services experience, he has to have a product thinking, and of course the front end, and all the frameworks. What is a must thing? Must-have thing? What is a good-to-have thing? You can also put that discuss what is and, what is or, and what is not for your project. And of course, you can also Google the terms with your HR and show what it's all about. And you know, I'm going to show you a lot of slides, a lot of screenshots, and I'm going to reveal a lot of life hacks of recruiters to you. You don't have to write it down or take pictures. I promise you'll get the slides. And if you have your mobile phones or computers with you, you can actually try that straight away and see if it works for you. So, sometimes when I just simply come and sit down with the technical team, I say, guys, may I take a look at your LinkedIn? Why don't we open your LinkedIn account and see if you have someone in your network who could be interesting for our team? And they go, oh, I forgot this guy knows this. Right, oh, this guy is now working with JavaScript. I didn't know that. We used to work like 1,000 years ago together. He's a good guy. And so we open up a LinkedIn account together. For example, this is the back door of LinkedIn, I would say. If you're hiring for Erlang, I don't know, Node.js, machine learning, you can go linkedin.com topic machine learning. And you can actually see straight away which companies are using it, which companies have the candidates, or not the candidates, they're just potential candidates. You can see which companies are using this technology. You can see which universities are teaching guys who know this technology. And if you go down the page, you can actually see the contacts from your network who have these skills. And it's not only just mentioned in the profile, they have been given references for this skill. So sometimes if I sit down with members of technical team, open up their LinkedIn account, we have a few suggestions already. And this is people that they used to work with, what they like, and there is a high chance that, you know, they can attract these people into the team. Another one, user P, title. You can put your variables instead of the JavaScript. You can play with this link and see who in your network knows the technologies you're hiring for. Okay? And for example, if you are hiring for some specific title like team lead, I don't know, I'm now hiring a GIS developer or anything specific, you can also change in my link instead of team lead and try to see if you have someone in your network already. You know this guy? So imagine I found someone with the profile that we're looking for. I can always see if we have any mutual contacts. I can always see if my contacts know this guy, and I can ask them, is he an asshole? Is he good? Is he a good team member? Does he really know machine learning? So you can get a lot of valuable information, and it's just like a chit chat. You don't have to actually approach this guy before you actually collect the comments from your mutual connections. So if these things don't work, what if I told you that you can go and Google your candidates? This is exactly what I do for a living. I Google. I'm going to show you some techniques for that. And where do we find you? So now, huge secret popped out. We Google you. Recruiters find you in internet. But, of course, we don't just go to Google and say, Java guy, I don't know, good looking, so many years old and stuff. We go to the professional social media channels or some places where you hang out in, and we try to find you over there. And let's talk about how we do it. So remember that SOSU thing? That sounds horrible, I must admit. If you don't get the joke, just ask your Russian colleagues to explain a bit later. But that stands for sourcing. Sourcing is a talent acquisition discipline which is focused on identification, assessment, and engagement of skilled candidates. So sourcing is searching. This is the science that recruiters all learn. And it's worth mentioning that I'm a sourcing expert. I have a black belt in sourcing, so I actually teach sourcing as well. I educate Estonian IT recruiters, HRs, lead developers, team leads to actually start using this for finding candidates. How do we do this? We basically have 3 principles. One is Boolean search. Does anyone know what Boolean search stands for? Okay. Google X-ray. We X-ray in Google. And universal search principle is what you all must know. That if you go like find girls in Tallinn, or I don't know, machine learning experts in Tallinn, you all are using the universal search principle. That's how it looks, for example. Open to opportunities, Java Estonia. Believe me or not, I get some results just as easy as that. Try coding for food, by the way. You would be surprised. So you see, Google is finding some results. The phrase which is mentioned for me. And I will explain the rules of syntaxes a bit later. You see the quotation marks I'm using. It's just that I'm asking Google to find the whole phrase for me, not separate words. Right, and this is Boolean search. I will not tell you about Boolean. This is too complicated for you. But basically, this is how a Boolean string looks like. When I'm going to LinkedIn and I want to find a full stack developer who knows Java and front end and who is from Estonia, I basically write down all the synonyms. I don't know, I consider mistakes you may make. Engineer. You'd be surprised how many actually results you get when you're searching for that. But hey, this is a sourcing string, but we are not writing those. We also use automation tools for that. We have tools which help us to generate this huge list of keywords. Okay? What I'm going to teach you today is to X-ray Google. And this works, believe me. Some simple things about syntaxes you should know. Well, basically, when you write your inquiry in Google, you use space in the meaning of and or not. So you, for example, looking with Java and JavaScript developer, or you are looking for someone with React or Angular skill, and you want to exclude some keywords. For example, I'm looking for a Java developer. I don't want a team lead. I want to exclude those results. So, and if you're using and, or not, this should be always in block letters, okay? Remember that. And as I said, we use quotation marks around a phrase. So Google actually searches for the whole phrase, or around one word if we don't want Google to be too smart with us and bring us some synonyms. Numerage, living in Estonia, you don't need that. Because basically if you are X-raying Google for GitHub profiles and you want to get the profiles with the highest reputation, for example, we don't get the luxury in Estonia. We only have like 100 results. We don't have 1,000 results. But I will show you some examples how to use these numerage intervals. Right. Am I talking too fast? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Yes. Good. Right, asterisk. This is a placeholder. If you want to put it between two words, for example, I don't know, senior asterisk developer, if you don't care what technology, or administrator, you can use this word. And remember that Google ignores asterisk when it's not surrounded by spaces. So be careful about spaces when you are X-raying Google. And Google also has search modifiers like site and title in URL and file type. I'm not going to explain you what it is, but I will show you examples of how we use this. For example, I don't pay for LinkedIn, okay? There is no reason to pay for LinkedIn. I X-ray Google for LinkedIn profiles using the search modifier site :EE LinkedIn.com. EE comes in front of LinkedIn if you want to search specifically among Estonian candidates. And for example, JavaScript team lead Tallinn. And there you go, I have a lot of, I don't know why Konstantin wrote as a JavaScript team lead here, but well, he knows everything, I suppose. But then you get a lot of senior LinkedIn profiles right in your Google results. GitHub, same way, Tallinn or Estonia and joined on. Do you know why I have joined on here? Because this expression is actually used in the profiles. Because if I go like Tallinn or Estonia Java, for example, I'll get a lot of false results like job offers in Tallinn with Java. So just look at the page you're looking for and just use a phrase which could always be mentioned at that page. Okay, I suppose I don't have to explain what Stack Overflow is. I usually explain it for HRs and IT recruiters, and that's like the training is like really a day long. It's a lot of more information, but I'm giving you the soft version today. So Stack Overflow, we can actually search for candidates in Stack Overflow. You would say that, you know, it doesn't show how good you are, all this reputation stuff. But if you're looking for a lead developer, or if you're looking for some kind of a team lead, you want to find a person who is good at mentoring, right? Who is good at replying questions. So maybe Stack Overflow is a good place to find guys with high reputation. It shows that the guys are really helpful and like to sort of socialize and support others. So yes, you see there's 1,460 users in Stack Overflow from Estonia. And unfortunately, Stack Overflow doesn't let us use its internal tool for searching for free. It's quite pricey. So the best way you can actually source candidates in Stack Overflow is Google X-ray. But you can always find questions about the specific technology you're hiring for. And for that reason, you should use the square brackets. Do not ask me how to find them on keyboards. I copy-paste all the time. So Putting any term in brackets will result with some questions or answers about this specific technology. That's how it looks. You see, I found René over here who answered a lot of questions about JS. Right, so here are some good examples of Google X-ray, how do you call it, strings about how to find, yes, and here you have the reputation. So if you want to hire top Java developers, you can limit the results by the reputation they have in Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow, com users, Estonia, JavaScript 5 and more reputation. I guess JavaScript is like a pain for everybody nowadays. Each company is hiring JavaScript developers, right? Who's hiring JavaScript developers? Once again, I had a case just lately. Then HR says to me that I need React developers. Do you find it, how to say, do you find it well explained, or like, don't you think she should be like looking for JavaScript developers because React is quite easy for them to pick up? Or is it so hard to teach someone React? Tell me.
It takes time still.
It takes time. So you want React developers, nothing else.
I think you should search for JavaScript developers.
That's the point. So by actually limiting your search to React, you're actually limiting yourself and you're missing out a lot of interesting candidates. GitHub. I like GitHub more than Stack Overflow. Do you know why? Make a guess.
Shows the code.
The code, yeah. It shows the email. Stack Overflow never shows the emails. GitHub does. And I use GitHub a lot for sourcing for specific skills. And the time when we were building Elixir team. Do you know what Elixir is?
Language.
Yeah. Do you remember Alexei talking about Elixir in DevClub?
It was in Russian.
Right. So I brought a guy who converted to Elixir and who loved it to talk about it in DevClub. And then I had the most embarrassing moment in my recruiter's career. I'll tell you later why. So in GitHub, you can go to advanced search and you can actually look for location and language. And of course, you can also Google X-ray for GitHub accounts using joined on or popular repositories. There you go. Top regional repositories, Estonia, yay! So don't you want to look at who is doing the top Estonian, I don't know, JavaScript repositories? Do you actually have GitHub accounts, guys? Do you? Do you actually like interviewing someone when you have not only like LinkedIn account or CV, but you already have somebody's GitHub account right in front of you before the interview? Does it help? Does it? You see the code, don't you? Okay. Yeah, of course. There are a lot of empty GitHub accounts. When we actually present some candidates to the clients, we are trying to grab everything we find about this candidate, like Stack Overflow accounts, GitHub accounts, any pieces of code we could show and so on, sort of to make it easier to select. Yeah, Estonia, JavaScript joined on 376 results. How long would it take? How long? It's a lot for Estonia. How long would it take you to type in Google? Google, find me JavaScript developers in Estonia from GitHub. Just a few minutes if you know how to do it. Okay, so this is my favorite slide, and I will tell you about my embarrassing moment now. Remember Alexei's presentation about Elixir. This is the biggest recruiter's fail in my life. I got so excited about the Elixir project, which is truly, really fantastic project. I was searching for Elixir developers everywhere. I found this guy, look at him, he's so good looking, he's a speaker, he can bring the knowledge to the team and train the others. He has such a huge, look, 7,000 followers. He is so smart, I better write him an email. I did. And then Alexei talked about Elixir. He opened up this slide and said, this is Jose Valim, he's the founder of Elixir. And I was like, I emailed him 2 days ago. So yes, but that's not the reason I showed him to you. I want to show you one trick. Why I like GitHub? Because I can always find the email of the candidate. And I will show you the hack, okay? Do you want to try to do it yourself? Anyone could log in GitHub right now? No. So Jose doesn't show his email, right? But I really want to know. What do? I go to his repository, I find his commit, I add .patch, and there you go. I write him an email. So hey, we're not so stupid after all. Just educate us. But guys, I showed it just to show off at the moment because there is a tool which can help you do that faster. And in recruitment, we have a lot of tools for search automations, a lot of tools for finding your contacts. We can find anything. So just enter the username here and you get the email of the person. So there are plenty of other channels or places where you hang out and where we look. You know, I often ask, like, you registered for the meetup, why didn't you show up? Okay, I can just Google it and find who was there. Because if I'm hiring Linux guys, of course I want to see who's interested in Linux. And the guys who showed up, they are like 80% have this expertise and who are interested in Linux. And there is a meetup going on every week in Tallinn. All sorts of meetups. And I didn't add it to the slide, but you know, for example, I find someone and there is no name. I can just search by image, you know. I go search for image, and usually guys use the same picture in all the profiles, GitHub, LinkedIn, everywhere. Yes, you can go to Behance when you are looking for designers, and there's so much more. It's unbelievable, a lot. And who doesn't socialize? You guys have more social media channels than girls do. Guys, I mean, of course, girls and guys, I'm not like a sexist, but there are actually even ways to find girls developers. Everybody's actually dreaming about having girls developers in the team, and they say, we can't advertise that we're looking for a girl, but can you go and Google? So there are some specific ways, and it's...
People are still a bit skeptical about girls, though. Kind of feels like that, but I don't know.
Well, this is the lady who asked for the advice in Dev Club, and everybody started joking about borscht, by the way. So yeah, we have to be strong. Yes, so there are a lot of ways of targeting the search. Just have to be very creative. And as I said, we're using a lot of automation tools. And when I open someone's LinkedIn profile, for example, Anton generously allowed me to use his picture, but I covered up all his sensitive information. Here is the comment about the GDPA. But when I open someone's LinkedIn account, I can see all their social media profiles. I can see contacts. I can see how senior they are. Sometimes I can even see the approximate amount of money they would expect. And of course, I can see how to contact them. Why do I need to know so much information? Why do you think? Huh?
Filter out wrong people.
Guys, we don't have the luxury to filter in Estonia. No, because finding someone on the internet is like 30% of your success. The real job starts when you have to engage them. And to be able to engage them, you need to research what they like, what their career path is, what is it that they could be motivated by, what are the triggers which would make them accept the offer. So the more information you have, the better. Of course, I will not go and look for his like naked pictures, or he has a lot of pictures from the gym, by the way. But I can see, for example, he's traveled to some country, or he is watching this movie that I'm watching. I can always find something in common, because my job is not to get his CV when we talk first, but to build the relationship. And that's also quite rewarding. Don't jump into offering your job or joining your team. Try to actually become friends, or at least have like a social conversation first of all. I am a strong advocate believer into candidate-centric recruitment. I never push if somebody is like not ready or not interested. I build relationships, and they last much longer than fast, hires. So research and think about the challenges or the triggers or the motivator for the person. Okay, some people might be motivated by money. Let's admit that. That's okay. Somebody wants to have a flexible schedule, or you is really trendy at the moment. Somebody wants recognition. They probably, for example, you see someone has worked for 8 years as a developer, but he's not a lead or he's not a senior. So maybe what your role is giving. New building the teams for Throne Gaming. And I love hiring for them, because these guys are building something from scratch. And everybody goes, yay! I'm tired of the legacy code. So a lot of people want new challenges, but they don't go to CV Online or CV Keskus and start applying for the job if this is just somewhere inside their head or really deep inside their heart. By the way, CV Online, CV Keskus shows only about 30% of current job offers in Estonian market. Don't think that this is the Bible, you know. There's so much more. There is so much more interesting. And actually, to get your ad up in CV Online or CV Keskus, it costs a hell of a lot of money. And if we know that post and pray doesn't work, a lot of companies don't even post that. So, research. And this is the biggest problem with Estonian companies. They contact someone and they say, we are so cool, we are the biggest company in the field, we are so great, we have so many guys, we have so many, I don't know, offices.
The best team.
And the best team.
And the best coffee.
Hello, it's not about you. Everybody loves to talk about themselves, don't they? So sometimes Estonian recruiters just forget that. They try to like pushing a hell of a lot of information on you about who they are. And they tell you, here are our requirements. You have to be this, this, and that. Try to be different. Approach someone with saying, hey, I know I've studied with your friend or we work together. And you know, currently we have this to offer you. You can work with this technological stack. You can polish your skills. I can see that you're into JavaScript. Hey, did you know that we are using Vue.js? Now it's a new emerging trend at the moment. Or Kubernetes. Would you like to work with Amazon Web Services? So people want to know about them. What's in it for them in the offer? So if you actually approach them person to person and offer them what they are interested in, it's a totally different story. And imagine if I write a letter to someone, or you as a team member write a letter to someone, who gets high reply? Okay, no pictures, just a letter. Who gets the higher reply rate? Of course the team member, because they understand that you know everything about the project, not me. So why not actually stop wasting time and invest a little time of going out there and looking yourself and deciding who is this who is coming to your interview, not just waiting or blaming your HR that they are not capable of closing the room. Okay, what do guys or girls in IT want to see in the letter that you are writing to them? By the way, it's not specifically a letter. You can like find their phone number, I don't know, SMS, text them. Texting is a very big thing at the moment. The things that they want to see in the letter. Objective, why are you talking to them? Sometimes people talk about how fantastic their company is and they forget to mention why they are even writing. Potential of the project, scalability, technology stack, salary. Yes, why not mentioning salary? What's the big secret?
Because,
I don't.
Like, it's all the time. We are one of the first companies who actually publish salary in publicly available.
So, like, if you go say 2,000 to 4,000.
Everyone hopes that comes experienced JavaScript developer and asks for 1,000.
Keep dreaming. So, I mean, I don't understand what is the big secret. If you give the salary range, it doesn't mean that everybody's getting 4,000. You have to be a superstar for that. Team members. People love to know who are the people who he or she will work with, right? We care about this a lot in Estonia. Who are the team members? Well, what I do sometimes, I add some LinkedIn profiles right into the description of the job offer. Yes, and 83% wouldn't even reply to your letter if there is no tech stack mentioned. That's the problem of the beginners, HRs or recruiters. They start sending letters and they don't mention what technology it's all about. And of course, 83% would not even reply if you don't mention the salary rate. Why is that? Do you get too many offers all the time? So which ones do you reply to?
If the salary is in range, I want to.
Okay, right. And everybody thinks that, oh, I'm not gonna write anyone. I'm not like an annoying recruiter. I'm not selling anything. But believe me, I don't make people do something I want them to do. They decide themselves. I think that my job is to influence people. And influencing is inspiring someone to do something because they want to. So try to research about the candidate and try to find the triggers, the motivation points, and try to influence. If someone says no, it's not the end of the earth, right? It's just no is no for the moment. You can just say, I'm happy for you. Thanks for the reply. Let's keep in touch. You build a relationship. You've got the reply already. And let's imagine that you engaged someone, brought them into the process, and they failed. Is that a horrible thing which could happen? I don't think so. It's also a good experience. Someone, especially for juniors, if they get rejected in a nice way, they can even get something useful out of it. So people who are interviewing, please raise your hands again. Promise me you will be nice to your candidates. Promise me that you will have proper feedback. No? It's heartbreaking. Please explain why. Because a lot of people actually learn from this. And the time spent on writing a test is not wasted when they know the feedback, when they know what to actually improve and what to learn. Try to be nice to them. You can even have some templates. You can find some links to books or something, some really good advice. You can give it to your HR and let's say if he's failing in something, give him this phrase like, you failed in this, and I would really recommend you to read this book, or I really recommend you to use this resource and go there and start practicing. There are a hell of a lot of resources where people can actually practice or do some tests. Give them something, because they gave you a lot of their time. Give them something back. Because people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. This is a very girly slide, I know. But I really want you to remember this. Because you go to interviews sometimes as well, so treat them as if you were the one who is going to the interview. Just try to be human beings, okay? Well, this is it for me. From my side, I really hope that you will try to change something tomorrow when you go back to work. At least you will be nice to your candidates. Yes, the better you work with your HRs and recruiters, the more time you save to yourselves. Be nice to them. Thank you.
Question, any tips for developer LinkedIn profiles?
You want me to show you some profiles?
No. What to improve as a developer?
What to improve as a developer?
What do you see and what would you like?
You see, yes. You see, I'm searching for you using keywords. If they are mentioned in your profile, I will find you. So, if you are an engineer, engineering with other engineers, I won't probably find you if I'm looking for some specific technology. So the best thing you could do is have a summary of your skills right in the introduction. I don't know, Java, React, whatever. And don't make spelling mistakes. So, of course, a lot of people just say, programmer in this company, but you don't give any details. What are the technologies of the projects? What did you do there? Try to give as many techie keywords as possible, and you will be found.
Do you keep track of the people you interviewed? Like, for example, somebody failed, and it's no. So do you keep track of those people?
I interview 5 persons a day. I would go nuts if I keep a track. But if somebody fails, I tell them what they need to work on. I don't just, I don't grab fast results. I don't like the term headhunter. I'm not into hunting. I'm rather in fishing, Because my husband is a fisherman, and sometimes he comes home, I say, where's the fish? And he says, I've had some contacts. And I'm just laughing, I'm saying, you kiss the fish and let it go. So that's what I do for a living, okay? I catch the fish, if it's small, I kiss it and let it go. I explain, hey buddy, you have to work on your English. This is the main thing you should improve at the moment. Or, okay, CSS, HTML, jQuery, I don't see how I can get you a React job. So I actually give them some advice how to improve their skills. Of course, I'm not a techie, but I can give some good links of the resources where they can train their skills.
No,
and they come back to me.
The reason I ask actually,
yeah.
because maybe you have some kind of database to keep for all these candidates.
Yeah.
In the future, maybe you can refer to those people, maybe they already developed. So maybe you can apply some machine learning stuff, like you can hire somebody and maybe that those practice can be useful.
So please find the GDPR.
I probably told you too much at the moment, but also we have in LinkedIn you can actually save searches and you can set alerts. So I can see if my contacts in LinkedIn are like open to offers or they are adding some new skills. I can see that and I could say to them. But of course, you know, you can't remember everybody. But I'm a strong believer that we should not work on fast results. We should really kiss and let go, and they know where to find me. Right.
If you're interviewing people, do you sometimes tell them feedback immediately, or you write emails after?
I don't see the point of writing emails after, because I'm not checking their technical skills.
Sometimes you do negative feedback immediately on the English language, for example.
Yes, I say that. But I mean, recruiters, maybe there are some really smart recruiters, not me, who check the technical skills. I'm not competent for that. I can only check the profiles if the keywords that I know have been mentioned. And of course, I check the, how do you say, the soft skills while we're talking, or English, or readiness to relocate to Estonia, because we're relocating a lot of candidates.
Okay. He says that his or her English is bad. Does it mean that he will be rejected? But you can't estimate his technical skills, because it's more important than English. Yes.
I work for people, and of course I'm the advocate for, how do you say, being the honesty. I don't get a false I don't give them false expectations. And IT companies Estonia, almost all of them require good English, at least B2 level. And I can't do anything about this. I can't just go and sit in every meeting with this person or answer emails. So I'm being quite honest. But I don't reject them by just English. I just don't take them further, because I know the expectations of my technical team I'm working with.
Yes. For example, if you found the right person for some company, what is the minimum time that you wait until you send him another email and ask him, are you looking for a job?
2 minutes? I have a fast reaction.
Do you have agreement with your clients if you found a worker, some company, that you don't hire this worker in a year to another company?
Yes, of course.
And how many years is that? Or is it secret?
That depends.
Okay.
But we all live in Tallinn and know each other. I wouldn't be, I wouldn't get much further if I was hiring like this.
I have a question. Have you heard about the project Meet Friend?
Meet Friend.
Meet Friend.
Yes.
What do you think about
it? It was good until it became a paid product. And now I have questions to them. I'm actually meeting them for lunch tomorrow. I've tested the product both as a candidate and as an employer. I have a lot of questions. And as long as it was free, it was yay. Now I would really think about paying so much money.
But it's still free for employers.
Yes, it's always going to be free for candidates. But we had a conference on Friday. They were speaking at the conference. And they were saying, we see the future that we will be giving advice to the candidates of how to develop their career. And I opened my mobile phone, and I have an HR background 10 plus years, okay? I open my phone, I see, Yulia, sorry, we don't have any offers for you, but look at this offer. Customer support specialist. So, talking about machine learning, there is also pseudo machine learning sometimes. We'll see, but they are growing, they are developing. So I'm going to be meeting them tomorrow. I'm going to be testing their product. And I would love to see how it develops.
Do they want to involve you in this project?
No, I can only just give advice because I'm interested in their success. I want to use it as well as a user.
I think I asked my question wrong.
Yeah?
So
Sorry.
you found the candidate for the company and they hired him.
Yes.
So you use this candidate another time for another company. And
when he leaves the company. I can't use him again as long as he's working for this company.
But how do you know if he leaves the company or not?
LinkedIn alert.
Exactly.
What if the candidate himself tells you that, hey, I'm thinking of leaving and can you help me to find another workplace?
Guys, you're giving me a lot of embarrassing questions. Let's talk about sourcing.
And why should a candidate address you instead of company directly?
Okay, this is a good question, by the way. I don't know how to put it in English. Well, when you apply yourself, you're just like sending your CV nowhere. And when I'm working with my candidates, I basically hold their hand throughout the process. And I only work with companies where I have a say and where I have feedback. And I'm sort of an advocate for my candidates. The Russian saying is «провожу по конкурсу с мигалками». I can't put it in English, but the point is that I get feedback for them all the time, and I book the interviews, and I sort of support them throughout the process.
It's very efficient for us recruiting because you do some kind of filtering, and we don't have
Of course, I'm filtering as well, yes. I have a blacklist as well, because we know each other in Estonia. I talk to people about how they work in other companies, whom they work with, who would they hire themselves. So I have a lot of private information.
Who gets to the blacklist? Who's totally dumb for what?
Assholes.
How you define it?
No, but if HRs, we talk to each other as well. We have a very strong community. So we discuss people. If people show attitude, which is not normal, inside the team or at the interview, if they don't show up at the interview, that happens as well. Then we discuss that between each other, and we sort of warn each other about candidates.
Can I ask, what about people who are not very present in social media?
Yes.
Would they end up on your radar even if they're very good in some kind of way?
Yeah, well, that's why I hang out at meetups and dev clubs. Not everybody has a LinkedIn account, of course. But they get recommended like by other people, or they find me themselves by recommendations. I don't say that you all have to have a GitHub or LinkedIn. It's really up to you. But it's good to make yourself visible if you want to be like at the market, if you want to grow, if you are open to offers.
How do you think, how many developers
moved to Estonia last year?
Oh, I don't track this, but let's say we are in IT talent. We bring 2-3 persons each month. Of course, we'd love to bring more, but it's just that we don't have the capacity.
That was an official statistics of Estonian state. Last year we have insourced 5,000 people, and a majority of them are IT.
Maybe it's guys.
It's general.
It's general,
nothing
like,
about IT specifically.
But it's quite huge. IT is quite a huge part of it.
Yes.
I think it's not only IT. It's
no, it's not only IT, but IT is a huge part of it.
I think the hugest part is developers or
welders and builders.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's about 1,500 of top-level specialists, but if they are in IT or not, we don't know. We don't have the statistics. But Estonia is investing a lot into actually bringing more and more candidates. It takes me 2 weeks to bring someone from outside of EU, because all we need is a visa. It gives us a chance to keep the quality of hires higher.
What are the top reasons why candidates reject Estonia?
What are the top reasons? Climate, wives. Yes?
Do you export also?
Export. I used to hire for companies in Malta, but I have so much work to do here. I don't even try to get a client outside of Estonia. I'm a patriot, actually. I wouldn't go there myself.
Because of the climate?
I just get vacation. We just get vacation. Yeah.
Sorry guys, that's all for today. We haven't more time. Thank you very much for your nice picture. And see all of you next time. Bye bye.
Can't see in front of me, my enemies have tried every possibility, ability to know if I can bleed. If that's what you wanted, you won't get it tonight. 'Cause I can fly.